Okay, hello, Eco 701, lecture 12. So this is the second last lecture. I think time flies quickly. So for this lecture, it is quite straightforward. A conclusion. Okay, it provides you a checklist actually. Okay, final checklist and guidelines for critiquing. Oh, I can't pronounce this word. Guidelines to critique a papers. Okay. Final checklist. Just check your cover page of your research essay. Does it show the logo of UWC? Name of the university. You definitely have to show University of the Western Cape. Name of the department, which is economics. Your research essay title. Your name. Your student number in brackets. Level of study. Honors level, obviously. Honors research assignment. Okay. Name of the supervisor. Year and month. Most likely November. Declaration I already talked about before. Try to insert the e-signature. Acknowledgement, who you want to thank, 1 page maximum. Table of contents, assuming you have watched the videos, table of contents, list of tables, list of figures, you know, you can make use of some Microsoft Word tools and then Microsoft Word would automatically generate these three lists for you. But the only exception is list of abbreviations. You have to manually type the list of abbreviations. And then please arrange the abbreviations in alphabetical order. Chapter 1, Introduction. Okay, just check if you have covered the following: the background, context, problem statement. It means setting the scene, actually. Your research question. And then we usually convert the research question into the general or broad research objective. Just a friendly reminder, there is only one general or broad research objective. But for the more specific research objectives, you must have at least two. So you need the aim of the specific objectives are to do certain things in order to achieve the general research objective. Relevance of the studies. Why do you think your study is important? Okay, why is it relevant? Especially in the South African economic context, and then the outline of each chapter. Chapter 2 literature review. Remember, I've mentioned time and time again the three key areas of chapter 2 would be defining key concepts, theories, review of past empirical studies, maybe local and international, depending on your topic actually. Okay, and whether there is a lot of local empirical studies. If there are very few local empirical studies, you might really need to go for international studies as well, in order to highlight the fact that there is hardly any local studies being done. Methods and data, chapter 3. Remember methods, data, and if possible, if there's a need, then have the limitations session. Empirical findings, the two key sessions, descriptive statistics and econometric analysis, in case you have to run regressions. And then I talk about the use of tables, use of figures before. Conclusion, brief summary of the results. Be brief, okay? And policy recommendations, even suggestion for further research in future. Okay, so remember we still have one last lecture next week, and then I will talk about some past students' example on how they write chapter 5 with some good policy suggestions. Reference list, remember for this module you are required to do the reference list, but not bibliography. I already explained the difference between references and bibliography. If you no longer remember the difference, refer back to the earlier lecturing material. Appendix, putting the relatively less important information here, mainly the secondary supplementary tables and figures. And then guidelines, exam guidelines. These guidelines are for master's and PhD level, but I also think they are applicable at honors level. So let me stop for 1 minute for you to go through these guidelines one more time. Okay. So I'm done with the slides. So actually, I want to congratulate you. You already successfully learned the art of writing long research report, except we still have to cover the last lecture on how to write chapter 5, the conclusion. Okay, and then for your writing workshops, I actually provided the answers actually. Okay, just to give you some ideas how you can tweak your research topic, especially if you might have plans to pursue master studies next year. So, case number one, you can use the same model, same data, but you just need to change the research question a bit. So, this is an example. Perhaps at your honors level, you want to do a study on wage discrimination by gender and using the mean variance log earnings regression that has some linkage with the human capital theory, then you might want to tweak the research question a bit. You want to conduct a similar study later at master's level. For example, once again, you want to examine wage discrimination, but this time not by gender, but maybe by trade union membership status, using the same data set, labor force survey, and running the same econometric model, mean variance logs earnings regression. So this is the first case. Second case, maybe you use the same model but different data and same research question. In other words, you want to conduct an updated study. So this is an example. I think you should be familiar with this. Maybe a long time ago, someone has written something. He wrote a paper on labor market outcomes of the Western Cape working age population from 1995 to 2005, and it's been quite outdated, more than 15 years now. So you want to conduct the same study or similar study later, also looking at labor market outcome of Western Cape residents or working age population, but using the more updated data from 2010 to 2019. This is why I have been saying on and off that it is fine to repeat the same study as long as your intention is to use the most recent data to replace an outdated study which has been done long time ago. Third one, same data, same research question, but you rather change the econometric model. So look at this example. Maybe this is your original research. Wage is explained by these explanatory variables, but you decided to conduct an updated study. You rather decide to take log of y, in other words, log lean model. Log of wage, actually, I made a typo error, actually, log of wage, sorry. And then the fourth example, you rather switch to a different theoretical model. So this is an example. Remember from the human capital theory. Remember I showed you the figure before. The human capital theory compared the earnings of two groups of people, matriculants versus degree holders. But you have decided to do some amendments. You want to modify your human capital theory. This time you want to compare three groups: matriculants, those from universities of technology, Technicon, and those graduating from the traditional university. So in other words, you modify the human capital theory, okay? So you can, as long as you have valid reasons, it is okay to amend the existing theory because there are always flaws and gaps, or to make it more nicely, there are always gaps for improvement when it comes to a theory. Okay, especially for some outdated theories. Okay, it's time to change the assumptions and so forth. Okay, and then there are some supplementary readings PDF files, and then I think you should focus on the 1985 McCloskey reading. Quite a nice reading, giving you additional hints on writing. Okay, quite a long paper, and this is why, again, if you have some tight time pressure, maybe focus on the yellow highlighted text. And then my suggestion is these are the important things actually, especially the last one. Avoid these fake words. Fake words, this, that, these, those. What are you referring to actually? Okay. So let me pause here for 1 minute for you to go through these bullets from the lecture speech notes. Okay, and then there are 3 more readings optional if you have time. Why not also scanning through these 3 readings? Okay. So I think that's it for this lecture.